Hello again, and welcome to your Hatha Yoga practice today. A short and sweet sequence full of a lot of mobilizing work for the upper body, grounding work for the lower body, a full range of motion and complete workout for those looking for that in about a half an hour, and also a gentle warm up and cool down on either end. So let's get started on the back. In any comfortable resting position, you could keep your knees bent and feet on the floor, or stretch out your legs as wide apart as the mat. Arms by your side so that the bicep and the inner arm, the hand faces up, and your shoulders. In particular, you want to feel your shoulder blades resting comfortably on the floor. Back of the head also supported, and right in the middle, right in line with that center line of you in the spine. Big breath in, and exhale with the sigh. Just notice how that feels as you give your body and giving yourself a moment to adjust to this position. And to arrive in this moment, letting go of everything and anything you don't need to be fully present right now, right here. Just noticing how you feel as you breathe naturally, in through the nose whenever possible. And if it felt good, feel free to breathe out the mouth again, making sounds with the breath. Nice way to encourage the body to relax. And see if you can use your exhales in particular to release any tension, any hardness or stiffness in the body that you might feel. So just working with our awareness, observing the body, and enjoying a few natural breaths. And a note on stiffness and tightness in the body, which is it's a very common experience. It's one I have daily, especially with a lot of my sitting action or inaction. And especially when we're sitting, we tend to kind of close and shorten the muscles on the front of the body, a lot of this rolled shoulders or closed off feeling. So we're going to start with some mobilizing and opening work for the front body, and especially the shoulders. For this first one, go ahead and bend your right knee. You can bring your left leg so it's right in line with that left hip, extended long on the ground, and your arms extended out wide like a T. Now, in particular, since we're going to be working on the shoulders, you want to make sure both shoulders feel that contact with the floor. So you might need to move your arms a little higher or lower, maybe even lift the upper body to have that. And then you're going to be with your right knee lifted and the right foot on the floor. We're going to start to roll the knee across the body on an inhale, lifting that hip up off the ground, but staying heavy through that right shoulder, and exhale to come back. So it's a gentle twist. Inhale, let the knee initiate the motion across the body until the hip on the right side lifts, but the right shoulder stays heavy, as if you had like a big sandbag on top of it. You want to keep it resting down. So that contrast between the lift and mobility through the knee, through the hip, and the lower body, with that grounded connection through the shoulder, is going to give you a nice stretch through, especially the front side of the chest and the shoulder, the pectoralis muscle. Inhaling, opening up a little bit into that stretch. You can also look to that opposite arm and exhale, come on back. Move mindfully and really listen to your body through all of this work today. And see if you can also connect that movement and that awareness with your breath. So if your breath is feeling already very energized, and your body is awake, you might have a quicker rhythm than I'm showing, or you might need to slow down and take a little bit more time so that you can really enjoy a full breath with each cycle of respiration. We'll do that one more time on an inhale, maybe turning the head feels good. Exhale back to center. And then just compare. You can bend both knees or stretch both legs out. And see if you can already notice a difference from one side before we do the next. When you're ready, extending the right leg down, so it's right underneath the hip. Left knee is bent, left foot on the floor. On an inhale, the left knee reaches across the body and lifts that left hip. So you get a little twist and hopefully some interesting sensation, a little bit of stretch through that chest, through the front of the shoulder. Again, looking in the opposite direction can be a nice option, or just look up in whichever direction is most comfortable for your head and neck. Do some repetitions of this. But in general, easy, repeated motion and very fluid quality is what we're looking for to work with the body's natural balance, flow, and its ability to mobilize itself, to get into the body. So take your time with this and feel free to do more repetitions of anything we're going to be doing repeats of today, or also leave anything out if that's not working for you today. Do one more cross of the knee, reaching across the body, hip up, and exhale, coming back to the ground, and pausing again for just a couple breaths. For this next one, also for the shoulders, but now different parts of the shoulders, you might keep your feet on the floor with the knees up, or extend the legs if you prefer. But actually, for me, I want more, again, of that grounded, connected feeling through the lower body, so I can do that mobilizing in the upper body. The knees up is going to work better for me today. So what we're doing here is, with the arms, you're going to hold your elbows in your hands, or holding also the beginning of your forearm. We're just going to slide the arms from side to side, again, in rhythm with your breath. And the head can stay neutral. The neck is long, right here in the center. Or if it felt better, you can let your head be pulled with your arms. Just try not to resist or tighten up through your head and your neck. That will be counterproductive to this work. Sometimes it feels nice to just open your mouth, open your jaw, maybe even stick out your tongue or make some circles leading with the chin. There's a pretty strong connection there through the back of the neck, the head, and your shoulders. If you're not feeling much of anything, or you notice that you might be kind of just going through the motions and your mind has wandered, see if slowing down and also taking a little bit longer breath helps you get back in your body. And you might also change things up by grabbing your arms in the opposite orientation. So now the other forearm will be in front, and that might feel different and let you access a different part of the tissues around the shoulder, especially the connective tissues that often tend to get sticky, tight, and stuck in places. We're just looking to free up some of that tension. And it also might be interesting to lower the arms so that the sliding action is happening closer to your navel, closer to your hips. There I'm actually noticing less sensation, so for me it's going to be more interesting perhaps in a different spot. You could also come up as high as maybe your chin. Probably don't go much higher than that, as we're going into a lot of shoulder flexion already without really taking time to warm up the shoulders. Lastly, and either in that same orientation or changing your arms again, we'll do a couple circles in both directions. Again, in connection with your breath, easy, fluid motion and conscious breathing, connecting with that motion. For me, I like to exhale as I bring the arms down low, kind of emptying the body as I get closed. And as I open up, I fill up with a deep inhale before pausing and doing about 3 or 4 more circles in that second direction. Ooh, this side is very different for me. That's interesting to notice. Don't worry and don't try too hard. That also probably won't help much. Just notice what you notice. Give yourself this time to feel whatever it is that you feel. I felt a little rush there on that last circle. I'm going to try to really slow down. I take a full breath and a very fluid motion with this last one. Awesome. So arms back out wide like a T. And here we're going to roll over onto our side. You can start on your left side if you like. And if you need some cushion for under the head, if the neck feels uncomfortable, feel free to use a small pillow. And we're going to stack the shoulders here, stack the knees. So the knees are together and one shoulder is on top of the other. And then we're going to exhale to stretch that top arm all the way along the length of the bottom arm and even past the fingers. So you're getting into some protraction through the shoulder, big stretch. And then as you inhale, with the head resting on the floor, you slide your top arm across the bottom arm, across the chest, and out wide. Maybe the hand will touch the floor and you can look in that direction. Or maybe it will float above the floor. Don't force it. Inhale, and we're going to take the arm out like the hand of a clock, the arm of a clock, and reach it back around until you get all the way to your bottom arm. And with an exhale, we'll begin that protraction again. Slide the hand, get a nice stretch through the back side of the shoulder. And inhale, opening up, sliding the arm across the body and out wide, looking in the direction of your extended moving arm. And it's okay if that arm stays very far from the floor, or if you're already able to touch the floor with the back of the hand, that's great too. So we're going to do some repetitions again here, maybe 3 more. Maybe if this is feeling very like full of clicks and ticks and all kinds of popping sensations that are not smooth, you might want to do many more repetitions, maybe 30 today. Usually I like to do around 10 or 15 on both sides. This depends on how you're feeling, and especially how you've noticed any changes in your routine, in your day-to-day experience. When you're ready, we'll finish one more rotation together. Do the whole range of motion of the shoulder. This is definitely my tighter shoulder, so I'm not gonna worry or try to force it to do something it's not ready for. Before coming back and resting on your side. And after that one, I tend to notice a very big change. And see if you can allow your awareness to just kind of absorb that process. And also to notice the other side. So when you're ready, we'll roll over onto the second side. Head resting comfortably, maybe using some cushion to support the neck a little more. Knees on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other, and exhale, slide that top arm over And then inhale, slide it back across your body and out wide before bringing it all the way up. And again, what we're looking for here is the smoothness and the fluid-like quality of the motion. So it's not really about how far or how deep or how fast you can stretch, but ideally these motions are kind of married with that rhythm, with that pulse of your breath. So move through whatever range of motion feels good at a speed that works for you, but where you're also able to take a full breath every inhale, with every exhale, completing the exhalation. And then getting back into that stretch at the end of the exhale, and inhaling, opening up for a full breath. Let's do 2 more, at least, like this. This side, I'm able to let the hand rest a little heavier, but that does come at a little bit more stickiness, some tight spots in that range of motion. So I can also keep it floating a little bit off the floor if that's going to be the smoother place for you. You might also want to be a little bit smaller, a little bit easier on yourself as we get warming up. Lovely. When you finish your next rotation, come back to rest on your back. And just take a moment again to notice and feel. Okay. When you're ready, we'll come up to a standing position. You could do that by rolling up and down on your back or just rolling side to side. Your feet out wide and rolling along the spine to massage it a few times. See if you can pull into your center, to your power, and maybe come up with control to a seat. Repetitions can be fun. Or just help yourself up so that you're standing tall at the front of your mat. We're going to get moving through the whole body now. Feet hip distance apart, arms facing forward, the neck is long on all sides. And take a breath again here to just feel and allow your body to ground into the floor in this pose. Feel your root and feel the extension through your whole spine. On an inhale, we'll let the arms rise up with the breath. With an exhale, folding forward, bending at the hips, and bending your knees as much as you need. These first few rounds of sun salutation will move a little slower and really try to extend the breath. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, the right leg leads. And we pause in a high lunge, hands on the floor or fingertips, and take a breath. On your next exhale, the left leg comes back to plank pose or plank on your knees, whichever pose will give you that length and that feeling of integrity through the whole spine. One line, shoulders connecting to that back support, far from your ears. As you exhale, lower yourself down, keeping your elbows by your side, and release. Point your toes. Push down through the tops of your feet and inhale, come forward and up. Cobra pose, nice full breath. On an exhale, chin to the chest, coming up through hands and knees, or just lifting the hips back and up for downward facing dog. Inhale, that right leg comes up, and exhale, we step it forward, where we pause in that lunge again for a breath. Lengthen the spine by turning on your legs a bit more. Exhale, step forward with the back leg to a forward bend. Inhale, halfway up. Strength in your core. Pull the belly in to support a long back. And exhale, fold forward, release, Any tension you don't need. Inhale, you can come up, rolling up. Again, looking to connect one movement with one very full, enjoyable breath. Before we start again, second side. Inhale, arms up, look up, relax the shoulders, and as you exhale, bend forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, the left leg leading this time, but we'll still keep those pauses and this more extended feeling of breath. If you can bring that extension into the spine by pulling both legs into the body, towards each other, towards your hips. Exhale, step back, nice and slow. So if you took fast step there and you're still breathing, you might slow it down or try that again. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And the knees can be up or down, but sometimes bringing the knees down will really help you feel how those shoulders stay in their place, keeping the neck nice and long, keeping the spine in one line. Point your toes when you come down. Inhale, come forward and up, cobra pose, lifting the navel, lifting your core up, towards the back, towards your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, take a full breath to step it forward. So really trying to move like you're moving through water here, maybe even jello. Inhale, the leg bones pulling into the hips, a little more length through the back. Exhale, step forward, nice and slow. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, all the way forward, release. Another way to come up, inhale, lower your hips, and with a long spine, strong legs, lift up before settling down in your mountain pose. Great. We're going to take that a little bit more, a little bit faster rather, or both. Inhaling. But again, not looking to rush the breath. Really see if you can get one movement, one breath, and a full experience in each breath. On an exhale, stepping the right leg back. So take that inhale for length and exhale the left leg back. Finishing that exhale, lower down, all the way to the ground. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, the right leg leads. And exhale, the left leg follows. It's hard for me to really make the movement take the full time of my breath. And sometimes I go back and repeat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, settling down. Second side, in. And out. Inhale. And exhale, the left leg leads. Also have an option to move the second leg on that same breath and pause in the plank pose. Finishing the next exhale, lower down, the whole body in one line. And then inhale, come up. Come a little bit forward with your heart. Cobra pose. Feel free to lift the hands. Make sure you're using your core, your back muscles, and the full breath. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. And exhale, step it forward. Finishing that exhale with the right leg. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, soft. Inhale, back up. Exhale, Settling down. Final round on each side. One breath, one movement. Connecting back to your side. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, softening and grounding. Finishing an exhale to come all the way down to the floor. Inhaling, lifting your heart forward and up. Chin to the chest as you exhale. Let the head hang heavy in downward dog. Inhale the right leg up and as soft as you can between the hands. Exhale, step the back leg forward, taking time for that full breath. Inhale halfway up. And exhale all the way. Release. Inhale. Coming back to your mountain. And exhale. Coming back to stillness for at least that breath. Inhale. Second side. And exhale. Soften. Inhale. Use that core to bring the heart forward as you bring your tail back. And exhale that left leg back. Finishing also with the right. Taking another breath if that works better for you. On the next exhale, Chaturanga. Dandasana, lowering the body like one stick, one straight line. Inhale. Bhujangasana. Cobra pose, shoulders far from your ears. Exhale, chin to the chest, relaxing the head and neck. Inhale, left leg up. And as soft as you can, stepping it forward before coming into that forward bend with the back leg at the end of your full exhale. Inhale, one more time, halfway up. Crown of the head forward, extend the spine, and exhale, fold forward. Rise up. And exhale, full release as you settle down. And take a moment here, standing in your mountain pose again, to just notice and feel. Lovely. So hopefully you're feeling some warmth, maybe some increased circulation in the body. We're going to use some of that warmth now to target a little bit more the upper body and then grounding in through our legs before we cool down. So we're going to bring the legs together as if you had one leg and spread your toes as wide as you can until you see the color of the mat between all of your toes, shoulders relaxed. Chin parallel to the ground, and on an inhale, you're going to reach up with your arms. Come back a little bit, so you can see. But relax your shoulders as you grab your right arm, reach down through the right heel, and bend towards the left. So side bend to the left. Belly pulling in to support that lengthening in the spine. And notice if you're bending forward, you can bring it back into only a side bend. So you might come out a little bit, relax the shoulders, and as you exhale, compressing the left side as you lengthen the right side. You can also stay in that stretch a little bit longer for a more static stretch, or keep moving more dynamically in and out with your breath. On your next inhale, activate the core, come back up through center and switch sides. Left heel grounding down as you bend sideways and try to bend only sideways to the right. Inhale back up. And exhale, coming into that half moon side bend again. And stay there if that works better, but stay with fluid, full, balanced breath here. On your next inhale, coming up, and exhale, arms by your side. And I like to take my feet out wide here for just some easy shoulder rolls, moving in both directions. Notice any changes there, any differences. I definitely feel my right shoulder still a little bit more tender, a little bit more sensitive today. See if that's different in the forward direction, and it surprisingly is a lot easier one way today. If you notice a big difference, you could also just do one side at a time, and that might help you focus more on the smoothness, the roundness of these circles. Let's see how that's different on the other side. And we'll take the arms up. I like a real wide base for this one, and just take the smallest, roundest circles you can through the whole arm. This really gets into some of that supporting architecture and really small muscles around the shoulder, a lot of them. And eventually you can make the shoulders, or make the circles bigger, but only if the motion stays fluid, easy, and you're able to keep a deep breath here, maybe even so big with your arm circles that you can cross your arms in front of each other, and then you could alternate which arm crosses in front. Keep moving, slow it down if you have to stay with a full breath. Hopefully you're starting to feel more of that warmth, maybe even a little bit of tiredness in the shoulders. That's one of the goals of this exercise, and then we'll pause before doing it in the other direction. Standing tall here, easy in your knees. Strong in your legs, so reach down through the heel as you lengthen your spine again, lifting the heart, lifting the head. And if the movement is very round, maybe make it a little bigger. Develop a cracking feeling or a clicking spot or something that feels like a corner where you should have a round, smooth edge, then probably stay smaller there. But if you have the range, take it into the big arm circles again. Alternating is a nice option to practice some coordination work for your brain. And make sure you're connecting with your breath. Rotate one more time in that first direction. See if that's any different now. Lovely. And then once more in that backward direction. This one you really can't do too much of, but you know you're starting to get to enough if it feels like you want to stop. If your shoulders feel tired, maybe even heavy, and pretty warm. Great. So we'll do a very similar action now just for the wrists, because a lot of the times our body, we use it in very repetitive ways that are hard, that are stiff, or very linear. And most of the joints in the body are actually designed for that more fluid round motion. So you could try some circles in parallel, in the other direction, or even making a figure 8 kind of butterfly action through the wrist. All this twisting and the turning action through our joints is one of the easiest ways to keep the joints healthy. And if we're honest, most of us are not doing it enough, even though it's so simple. See if you can notice which side is maybe more difficult, more resistant. I'm going to give that side a little extra love. So for me, it still feels like the right side. And I'm going to try to relax the right arm as much as I can and just shake it out. Keep standing tall here. Legs are strong. Relaxing your knees. Maybe activating your core as you start to deepen the breath, we can increase the shaking. That's all we're doing here. The goal is to let the wrist and even the elbow really relax. And the shaking, the spontaneous, almost vibration quality is what's keeping the movement going. So you try to move so much But it's all about the movement, and you're not really controlling where this movement is going. You can speed it up, keep that elbow soft, and if your arm is very relaxed, even the shoulder will start to get in on this jump and jive and wiggle, actually. So I'm trying to feel a little bit more wiggle in the right shoulder. It's still resisting me, and I'm not going to fight it, because you won't win. But you know you're doing it right if it feels like rubber, if it feels like Gumby character, you might know. And then release. And notice that. You might feel a lot still. Some tingling is a sign of both that blood, the vessels in the arm opening up, and energy moving through the arm in a new way. And that's really healthy for your nervous system. So we're going to do it on the other side as well. This wrist is a lot softer for me. It's also easier to let the elbow relax, and I can let the whole arm just wiggle, just shake. And try not to force it or control it even, really. You want it to be the momentum, the movement, just keeps self-propagating here. Yeah, it's a little bit of effort, and you continue to stand tall, breathing full. You relax so much that that vibration just keeps on vibrating through the rest of the arm, and maybe also the shoulder will relax enough. You can get some wiggle there. Another sign you're doing it really relaxed is if your fingers are so relaxed, they start to touch each other as you're vibrating back and forth. You hear a little bit of sound there. And then release, standing tall. And feel that. Lovely. So the next one, and the last one we're going to do standing, is a favorite for releasing tension through the whole chest, shoulders, and a little bit here in the lateral rib muscles there. And so you got to generate your own resistance for this circular action, doing another form of arm circles. But imagine you're pulling something that's heavy. It's like the action if you were rowing on a rowing machine, or pulling something that has weight. Relax your shoulders as you stand tall. The hands facing up, elbows by your side, and then engage the muscles of your arms. So you created that resistance, and you start to pull the elbows back, keeping the shoulders heavy. We're going to turn the arms in and extend the arms back. As you exhale, you're going to bring the arms around the sides and forward like you were hugging someone in front of you, but with the back of your arms. So there's a lot of twisting through this. And some easy rotation. Ooh. And often you might hear some popping and some snapping sounds, and I feel a lot of twinging as the connective tissue, which again can get really sticky and hard, especially if you've been overworking an area. But this twisting and turning is actually really good to help deal with some of that trauma to an overworked area. And really just make sure you're listening to your body and connecting with your experience, connecting with your breath. If you're like me, you might feel a very big difference still from one side to the other. So sometimes lessening the intensity with which you're doing it will let you more fully, more holistically integrate this experience. So trying to stand still very tall, legs are active, but the knees are soft. A little bit more core strength to lift the upper body as you glide through this easy arm circles with that added twist. Do the last one like this. Ooh, yeah. And then release. Awesome. I'm going to come down to the back now when you're ready. I like to come down often through a squat to practice squatting, really. So with your legs out as wide as the mat, your knees following your toes. You sit your seat down, but lift your heart up. Get a long spine here. We can also practice falling, because we're all going to fall at some point, and you can just kind of ease, or maybe there'll be a bigger thud into that. And then give yourself enough room to come all the way down onto your mat as we transition into grounded and cooling poses again. And just take a moment to pause and let the body reorient. Notice any changes you're already feeling. Notice how your breath is changing as you settle down. You'll bring the legs together for another twist through the whole spine. One variation is to bring the right knee on top of the left, as we're going to twist to the left side. If that's too much, you can just keep the knees together. So when you get ready for your twist, you want the upper body here grounded, so the back of the head, the back of the shoulders, arms out wide. And exhale, twist over to your left side with your knees. You can keep looking in a neutral position, so the neck is long, feels good. If it feels also good, you can rotate through the head, resting the head still on the ground and looking through your opposite extended arm to bring that left arm to the outside of the right leg. I'm just going to stay here for 2 more breaths. Really see if you can connect back into a full experience of breath, noticing all of the movement, the expansion, the lifting quality of every inhale. And see if with your exhales, there's more room to surrender into the deepness of that breath. A full, soft release. After your next exhale to come out, we'll pull the belly in, activating a little bit of core support to unwind and come back up to the middle. Pausing as long as you need to, and when you're ready, option to take that cross-legged twist, or just bring the knees together and take the 2-knee twist over to the right. Option to look over to the opposite arm, to the left, and bring that right hand on the outside of that upper leg. Trying to let go of extra doing in these final cool down poses. This will also encourage the mind to let go of any extra thoughts, extra activity that can keep our minds feeling so busy and often leave us feeling rather tired, rather frenetic and distracted. Come back and connect again one more time. Be fully immersed in your experience as you enjoy one more inhale and surrender fully in that exhale. Bringing the core support as you unwind on an inhale. And then exhaling back on your resting pose, right where we started as we get ready for our final pose, a bridge. For the bridge, you want your knees right above your heels. Make sure you can feel the back of your foot with your middle finger. You're going to keep your legs parallel, hip distance apart, and arms out wide by your side. Back of the head on the ground, and very important not to move your head. Don't look side to side when you come up into the bridge. Also, as a more supported option, you could bend the elbows, keep them closer to your body, and come up on an inhale with robot arms. Or leave the arms out wide by your side. Or bring the arms closer together so you can grab your hands behind your back. This will be a very, very big opening through the front of the shoulders. So if it feels good, feel free to do that. And lifting and lengthening the whole upper body as you push down through all of that support that is touching the floor, touching your mat. Reach your knees away from your forehead. If you've got your arms underneath your back, let's go ahead and release them. And this time, we're going to bring the sitting bones down first. So we're going to bring the lower part of your spine down first. reaching your tail towards the back of your feet, and then releasing as you unroll the spine. Maybe you have to lengthen and scoot a little bit. And pausing again in neutral. We're going to do that one more time and come down the other way, usually the more traditional way. When you're ready, coming up for your bridge, checking heels underneath the knees, legs hip distance apart, and on an inhale, pushing down through your support to lift your hips up, lengthening the whole upper body as you open your chest. This time, leave the arms out wide by your side. Make sure the back of the head is gently pushing down so you feel some tone in the back of your neck, protecting the neck. I'm just going to open your chin one more time. Move your jaw muscles, or move the mandible, move the bone of the lower jaw around, letting the chin lead the circle. Keep reaching through your knees, legs engaging inward towards that center line. And let's rotate in the other direction. Moving the chin in a circle the other way. Lovely. This time, we're going to lower the upper spine first. So starting to lower the upper back, then through the mid back. Eventually, the lower back rounds down. And as you inhale, let the lower back return to its natural and neutral arch, with a gentle space in the lower part of your back. And we've arrived to our final resting position. You could stay right here with your knees up, or open your feet as wide as the mat and let the knees rest against each other. Or take classic Shavasana, legs extended long, feet falling open, wider than your hips, arms by your sides. Again, the head and the neck right in line with the center of you, right in line with that spine. Take a deep inhale and release the breath with an exhale. Then turning your attention inwards, you may want to close your eyes. You can put some covering over your eyes for increased darkness. With each inhale, notice the parts of your body that are supported by the earth, that have contact with the floor. And as you exhale, allow the whole body to rest down into the ground a little more. Continue like this until you feel your whole body coming into stillness, feeling totally carried, completely supported by the earth. And with each exhalation, you notice your whole body is wholly relaxed. Once you come into your stillness, your final relaxation, bring your full attention to your breathing. And wherever you notice your breath the most in the body, maybe it's the rise of the belly, or the opening in the chest, or just the flow of breath at the tip of the nose. For the next few moments, just allow your attention to rest there as you follow each inhale. And see if you can settle in and enjoy each exhale a little more. as you're ready, gently draw your attention back to the room you're in, back to the body you're in, and back to this breath. And notice again how you feel. And notice that rhythm of breath. Very soft, very subtle. When you feel like waking up the body again, start to deepen your breath, lengthening. And also taking the time to exhale completely. With that fuller breath, and naturally bringing more vibrancy, more energy into the body. You may start to move any movements that feel intentional. They just feel nice. You want to stretch the whole body, bring your arms overhead, grounding your seat down as you reach your legs out long and your arms out up. Exhale and release, bending one leg at a time before rolling over onto your side. Just pausing. Or using your hands to help yourself up into a stable and comfortable seat. If you have height, like a cushion or a block, you might want to sit up that way. And I invite you to just take the time here at the end of your practice to allow, once again, your awareness to settle and savor your overall experience. Noticing once more how you feel in your body. Noticing especially any changes or anything you didn't notice before. Thank yourself for making time for yoga, making time to do something good for your body, your mind. May your practice benefit you and all those around you. Namaste.